Hello, everyone. So, today I've got a TV episode review. We're going to be looking at the premiere episode of Channel Zero, which was a TV series that is, pretty great from Syfy, and it ran from 2016 to 2018. And the first episode is titled You Have to Go Inside, which is what we're going to be talking about. And the first season of the series was basically called Candle Cove. So, a little background for this episode. This is actually happening because I was originally going to write, this article for. Well, I'm not going to even reveal the name of the publication, but they rejected it because it's an older TV episode. And that's one of the pitfalls of writing for other websites is sometimes they can reject pieces, and it's not always for the greatest of reasons. In this case, it's because it's not a brand spanking new TV show, so they're like, "Ah, we'll pass on it." So basically, I'm going to be reading off my notes to you fine listeners out there about this episode. Long story short, like if you don't want to get into the details, I think it's a good show. If you're a fan of unsettling psychological horror that lingers in your mind long after the credits roll, I think Channel Zero is a series worth exploring. Now, like a lot of things, I can't even guarantee that you would love it. I mean, it's impossible to say that everyone out there is going to like anything or everything that I would recommend, but I do think that this episode and quite possibly this entire series is worthwhile. It's anthology horror, and it aired on Syfy from 2016 to 2018, and it really, it provided plenty of terror before its cancellation. Each season of Channel Zero is based on a popular creepypasta, which isn't really a term that I like. I've never liked that term, but it's what the internet decided to go with. So I guess we're stuck with it, and uh, not all of it's bad though because we did get this pretty decent episode and this pretty decent TV show out of it. Even though I've only ever watched this episode, I might continue watching the rest of it based on that. It's the basic premise is that it's a creepypasta is a user generated horror story that gained fame on the internet. And that's what this show was connecting up to. The popular creepypastas that people would post. So among these, the debut season Candle Cove remains a standout for its eerie atmosphere and chilling premise. So part of what's fun about this episode, or I don't know, if fun is even the right word, but I guess memorable, is that it's largely about nostalgia, but it's like a nostalgia that's blended with terror. And so, what is the plot of Candle Cove? Well, the first season of Channel Zero draws inspiration from Chris Straub's creepypasta of the same name. It begins with episode one, You Have to Go Inside, which sets the stage for a season filled with psychological terror, or that's what you're supposed to see in the show. If it actually scares you, I can't guarantee it. Obviously not everyone is scared as easily as some other people, and other people are, they're pretty easily shaken. This story takes place in the small town of Iron Hill, Ohio, from what I recall, where child psychologist Mike Painter, played by Paul Schneider, returns after many years, haunted by the mysterious disappearance of his twin brother Eddie and other children from the town. So, something's amiss, right? And it's another one of those shows that has a degree of mystery that's pretty strong right out the gate. You know something's out of place. There's a at least a number of puzzle pieces that need to be put together, and of course you're along for the journey. You're part of the I guess the process as a viewer, trying to piece together what exactly is going on. So, he's haunted by the disappearance of his brother. He begins to unravel a sinister connection to Candle Cove, which was a creepy puppet show that aired in the 1980s. So that's where the nostalgia aspect comes in. And the show features pirate puppets and an unsettling villain known as the Tooth Child. I guess the show had a disturbing influence on its young audience as Mike reconnects with old friends and his mother, Marla Painter, played by Fiona Shaw. Flashbacks reveal the repressed memories he and his peers share about Candle Cove. Strange occurrences soon follow Mike's return to Iron Hill. Children begin to behave oddly, and it becomes clear that Candle Cove is re-emerging with an ominous purpose. The first episode concludes with a tense cliffhanger, leaving viewers eager to uncover the truth about the show and its connection to the past disappearances. Or, again, that's how it's supposed to play out. Now, this was a reasonably popular show, but it didn't last as long as I'm sure some people wanted. But it did have some pretty successful themes and atmosphere, a lot of what you would want in horror. So, Candle Cove, or Channel Zero Candle Cove, expertly blends nostalgia and trauma, exploring how childhood memories can intertwine with unresolved pain to create an air of unease. The series delves into psychological horror, focusing on the fragile boundary between reality and hallucination. So it's basically like a psychological horror in that respect. So, episode one, which again is called You Have to Go Inside, establishes the season's tone with its eerie visuals, haunting score, and unsettling atmosphere. The psychological tension is heightened by the show's exploration of repressed memories and the influence of the past on the present. So, here's some, more specs about the show, its production history. So, Channel Zero was created by Nick Antosca, who served as the series showrunner. The first episode of Candle Cove was directed by Craig William McNeil, whose careful attention to detail enhances the series' creep factor. And Chris Straub, the aforementioned author of the original Candle Cove creepypasta, drew inspiration from an article in The Onion, surprisingly enough, titled Area 36-Year-Old Still Has Occasional Lidsville Nightmare. So, I guess Lidsville was a real life TV show that was considered creepy. So, Chris Straub saw that and was like, maybe I could make a story inspired by this. And it was at least successful enough to garner a TV season based on it. His story gained widespread acclaim online for its unique blend of nostalgic and psychological horror, which transplanted seamlessly to the screen. So, what did the critics say about the episode? The first episode received positive reviews for its intriguing premise, strong performances, and ability to create an unnerving atmosphere. Critics praised its effective setup of the season's central mystery and its skillful baiting of viewers with suspenseful storytelling. So, why watch this then? If you're still wondering. So if you're drawn to psychological horror with a nostalgic edge, Channel Zero Candle Cove could be considered a must watch, or, something along those lines. I hesitate to call things must watch because, again, not everyone's going to enjoy what they see. They might end up resenting the fact that you even recommended something for them. If you build it up too much, they'll be like, well, I just discovered that your taste in things sucks because I didn't like this, or whatever. But I'll just say there's a chance that you will enjoy this episode and this series. So I think that it's enough to hook viewers with its compelling narrative and spine chilling vibe, and it's the perfect gateway to the haunting world of Channel Zero. So, yes, go ahead and check this episode out. And I don't want to pour too much more praise onto it because it'll sound too exaggerated, but I enjoyed it. What more can I say? It's something that has my seal of approval. All right. I will have more movie and TV show reviews in the future, to mix things up, and maybe I'll do some original stories of my own or semi-original stories because nothing is truly original anyway. But you know what I'm saying. Anyway, have a nice day.